Hello. So, yeah. We're set, right? Yeah. I would like first to recognize in our presence President Bill Clinton, the founder of the Clinton Foundation, my cabinet colleagues, the media, ladies and gentlemen, and of course our fellow citizens and residents, both viewing and listening to this short press conference. It is indeed a great honor to welcome President Bill Clinton to Dominica today. President Clinton has been a long-term friend to Dominica and the entire Caribbean community, and I've had the pleasure of working with him and the Clinton Climate Initiative since 2012, developing clean, renewable energy projects in Dominica. As a matter of fact, the Clinton Climate Initiative were exceptional in assisting us in developing our geothermal project as our advisors. Since the devastation of Hurricane Maria, President Clinton's commitment to Dominica's future has only grown stronger. He immediately pledged that he would do whatever he could to help us rebuild as the world's first climate-resilient nation. And since then, he has backed up that pledge with action. In November last year, he joined me at the CARICOM UN high-level pledging conference and issued a rallying cry to the international community to fund our plans for long-term sustainable development. Just last week, he convened the Action Network on Post-Disaster Recovery in New York City, which will bring partners together from across sectors to make concrete commitments to implement projects supporting the region's long-term recovery. I am grateful that as one of the Action Network's first 3 commitments to action, the Digital Foundation will be repairing or rebuilding 7 schools and 360 homes in Dominica that were damaged or destroyed by Maria. And today, our relationship with the Clinton Climate Initiative will grow deeper as we announce our plans to work together to develop a rapid integrated resource plan for Dominica's energy sector. I look forward to working with President Clinton and the Clinton Climate Initiative as we transform Dominica's energy sector into a model of resilience that the entire region and world can follow. It is now my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce the founder of the Clinton Foundation and the 42nd President of the United States of America, President Bill Clinton, to say a few words to us. Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you, Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, good day. I'm very honored to be in Dominica and very proud that the Clinton Foundation has been given the opportunity to work alongside the Prime Minister. I want to thank the Prime Minister for the opportunity to meet with the President, his cabinet, and others while I'm here, and say to all of you, I appreciate the heroic efforts you are making to overcome the impacts of the natural disasters that have befallen you, but even more, to take advantage of this moment to position your country to handle the next disasters better and to respond in a way that will improve both your chances of surviving the climate change that is roiling the world and prospering from it. And I thank the representatives who are here from DOMLEC as well. And I want to say a special word of thanks to the government of Norway, which for 6 years has made possible our participation in this. They believed when we first asked them that Dominica in particular and the Caribbean in general could lead the world to a whole new way of producing clean power, reducing the threat of climate change, and improving the economy of developing countries. And they bought the argument I was making that the Caribbean could literally lead the way, that we had a chance to make this the first sustainable region of the world. And now the Prime Minister has said, beginning with his great speech to the UN, that he wants Dominica to be the first totally climate resilient country on Earth. I'd also like to thank my good friend Dennis O'Brien and Digicel for the commitments they've already made to help you rebuild. We've been working together now. This is our 8th year in a long-term project to try to help Haiti recover from the earthquake of 2010. And I say that because I could never have done what we did there without Digicel, and they're a good partner. If they tell you they're going to do something, it takes 3 years, they'll be there 3 years from now. If it takes 5 years, they'll be there 5 years from now. And that should be a source of great encouragement to you. We'll, I'm sure, have to put in a decade of this before we're done in Haiti, and I think that's a good thing. It's easy for people to move in when there's a disaster and everybody's torn up and upset. And you forget that 90% of the work has to be done after the debris is cleared, after the tragedy is past. So I'm very grateful. I would like to say just a word about, the Prime Minister mentioned the meeting we had in New York last week, on this post-disaster recovery initiative. I have found that the most effective way I can contribute to helping people solve problems now is to convene a diverse group of people who will promise to work with local governments and with local leaders, and to do it for years if necessary. So we had an action network on Haiti. As I said, we had an action network after Katrina in the United States. And every time we do these things, as we go along, instead of people quitting, you wind up picking more members along the way, get more participants on the way. One success will build on another. So, Prime Minister, I hope that our commitment, which extends to Dominica, to Barbuda, and to the American territories, the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, will pick up steam along the way. I think that it's worth noting that people in my little world who love to do this thing, the thing they have most noticed is that you were the person who said you were going to make your country the first sustainable country in the world, totally climate resilient, and as close to 100% clean energy and a generation of electricity as you could. So our job here is to help you develop the last touches of your integrated resource plan and then help you implement it, to work with your utility, DOMLEC, the Independent Regulatory Commission, and our partners at the Rocky Mountain Institute, with whom I first worked 42 years ago last month. If you really want to do these things, you got to put a little time in on it. But to all of you, I won't bore you with the details of this, and I won't go on through the notes. But the young people in this audience who are in the press, listen to this. You got a chance here to prove, beginning in Dominica, that the Caribbean can be more prosperous by building resilient homes and structures than by ignoring it, more prosperous with more plentiful green power sold at lower costs, which will actually make the utility more money because you'll have more users. In other words, you can change the whole preconception. I have watched country after country after country in the Caribbean held back with the highest electric rates in the world because they insisted on continuing years after they should have the old model of importing heavy oil or diesel when there were ample solar, wind, and in your case, geothermal resources available to deal with it. And all over the world, people face this economic choice every day. Would I rather sell 10 things at $100 a piece, giving $1,000, or 10,000 things at $10 a piece, giving $100,000? And if you just sell them at $11 a piece, you're way better off. That's the economic choice. The environmental choice is not clear. We have to prove that we can stop rising sea levels. We have to prove that we can fight the most destructive impacts of climate change, and we have to prove we can do it and make it good economics. That's the bottom line. That's what all this is about. Everything you will read from here on out. How are the details going on the geothermal project? To provide geothermal power here, to provide it for export. All the details you read for the next few years. Just remember, that's what's at stake. Can we find a different way to develop and generate power that gives you a chance to raise your children and your grandchildren in this place safely and more prosperously? The answer is yes. And I just am very grateful that your Prime Minister, almost more than any other leader around, gets it. So the rest of us are just here to do what we can to help. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we hit the road to the other side. Thank you. Thank you. This is